Hi there, and welcome to Clubs 201 Advanced Club Training. This is the first episode, specifically the coronavirus special for meeting and engaging online. My name is Walter Lutsch. I am the Student Engagement Specialist.
And I'm William, and I'm the Student Clubs and Organizations Senator.
This is going to be the first in a series of podcasts directed at the clubs at Pierce College, specifically to train them in some of the more advanced topics and ideas and resources that they might have access to in order to become the best clubs that they can be. And right now, we're in the midst of a pandemic. So our first topic is going to be about meeting and engaging online and trying to keep our clubs running as much as possible during these special circumstances. For this episode, we're going to give you a general update on what's going on in student life and clubs in general, an introduction of the things that we're working on behind the scenes to help support you, and an overview of the resources and things that we're providing to you to try and keep your clubs engaged and active as much as possible while we're all away from campus. So first of all, bits of news. As you probably already know, all of spring quarter we are not going to be physically on campus. And that, unfortunately, means the sad rest in peace to Volunteer Palooza and Clubs Rush, which, if you've been active in the club council, you know we were working pretty heavily on these and had a lot of great plans in motion, but unfortunately, they're not going to happen, at least not this year. Now, while we're all away from campus and everyone's doing their classes online and everyone's social distancing, myself and William and the rest of the student life and club staff are all still hard at work, just working remotely and for the most part separately. But we're here to advise you and answer any questions. And if you're struggling with things, you can always come to us just like you would have just dropping by the Office of Student Life. It's just now your version of dropping by has to be an email. One of the things that Student Life and the club team in specific are going to be doing shortly to try and get more awareness of the clubs out there and help support you is something we're calling Club Spotlight. And this is going to be us trying to feature you and the activities and events that you're trying to do virtually and online, and just spreading the word of clubs still being active and still being able to meet and engage with each other and hold activities and events, and spread awareness of all that to the rest of our student population, to our community, and to all your other members who might have thought that, oh, no, the club's done for because it's, coronavirus stuff.
We've also found many possible online meeting spaces for clubs. One of the main ones we've been working on is the Club Council Discord server, a virtual meeting space for club leaders to be able to share ideas and let each other know what they're doing, the type of virtual activities they're hosting, and get the word out about their own events, possibly having clubs help with, advertising their events and stuff like that, maybe even having some collaboration, and being able to really just check in with each other and, letting each other know that you still exist.
In addition to talking with your fellow club leaders on the Discord server, hopefully you're going to find yourself in a place where you can get your members together and hold some semblance of a normal club meeting, but virtually. So we've looked at a wide variety of video conferencing applications, from Zoom, Skype, Google Hangouts, Facebook Messenger, and all of them are viable based on what you need and what your members already have access to. In addition to trying to get your club members to meet regularly again, you're going to want to pay attention to your social media. Obviously, many of you already have social media accounts, Facebook accounts, Instagram for your club, but if you don't already, you really should consider getting some. It's an excellent way to not only advertise to your existing club members that, hey, we're trying to get things rolling again, come check out the meetings, telling them how to get to them, but also advertising to the general Pierce College community that your club is active again. And one of the things we're going to be doing to help you with that is our Club Spotlight, in that one of the aspects of the Club Spotlight is to seek out your social media pages and just reshare your material. Retweet on Twitter, put it up on the Instagram story that Pierce Anime Club is holding this event to watch Princess Mononoke or something like that.
And speaking of watching movies and TV, that is actually still a great way to engage your students because you can do it virtually and without a physical meeting space. One of these ways that we found is Netflix Party. And so far from what we found, it works great in terms of, you can have multiple people watching the same things over Netflix. Just two things to look out for is, one, everybody's going to need a Netflix subscription. And also, it only works, so far from what we found, it only works on Chrome on computers. So you can't use the party function with phones or consoles. But there are also many creative ways to be able to still watch movies or TV without that, such as simply just recommending movies that your club should watch, or having the weekly movie.
On the subject of consuming entertainment with your club members, games and recreation are a great way to stay engaged with your club members, even if this isn't going to be a sort of formal club meeting with an agenda and things that you're trying to accomplish in particular. Just meeting together and hanging out virtually and getting a chance to play some games can be really, really useful. If you're a board gamer like myself, you might be interested in playing some board games online with some friends, since you can't do it physically in the same space. The two most important virtual board game spaces that I've found are Tabletopia and Board Game Arena. Tabletopia is the more graphically fancy of the two, and it has a wide selection of games. But that said, all the games are simply recreated in a virtual space. All the pieces that you would have in the game are there for you on a virtual tabletop surface, and they give you the rules. But this isn't a guided experience like you'd expect from playing a normal PC game that's maybe an adaptation of a board game. The computer isn't providing any helpful hints or guiding you through your turns. The pieces are simply there for you to play with if you know what to do with them. So you'll need to pay attention to the rules. And obviously, if you're already a board gamer and there are some games on there that you know really well, then it should be pretty easy to run them in the virtual space. But if you're looking for something that's going to guide you through the game a little bit more, you might look at Board Game Arena, which does create helpful guides and takes you from turn to turn, telling you when to take certain actions and when to do certain things. Unfortunately, Board Game Arena's selection is a little bit more limited, probably because they had to spend a lot of time programming all the guides to get you through the game.
Another fun virtual activity you can do is trivia, because that's always been really popular on campus. Usually we've been using Kahoot, but that isn't possible in a virtual environment, because it always requires physical meetings. But there's a good alternative called CrowdPer, and one of the great things about it is that it actually has a preset option that kind of mimics Kahoot, but is usable in a virtual setting. CrowdPer is also great because it's free to an extent, and for a club meeting, it'll probably never reach past that, because with the free version, you can go up to 10 questions per game and 20 people in a meeting. And you can either create your own quizzes with your own questions and answers, or you can just search up pre-made quizzes that are ready to go. And I will be hosting CrowdPer trivia games for Civics Week and Writer Review.
And lastly, as far as the games and recreation are concerned, we have created a Pierce College Minecraft server. Hopefully you've already heard about it, because it's been up and running for a little while by now. But if you haven't, Minecraft is still a relatively popular game, and it's excellent in terms of building community. So we purchased some server space, created a Minecraft server. It's on survival mode, and it's up and running. And we've already got, at time of recording, about 20 people playing regularly. And it's great because it's a community space where we can all meet virtually and be playing and also interacting at the same time. And it's a server that's going to be running for a long time. So unlike some of the times when you've maybe landed together on the server with some friends, whatever you built, whatever you did might not necessarily last if somebody deletes the file or you guys never get back together. But this server is going to be running. It's going to be here and hopefully for years and years to come. So what you create and how you change this virtual space is going to be there for people to see for a long time. And we're going to be having different events in here. We're going to be having build contests. So there's going to be a weekend where we say, all right, it's the who can build the best pirate ship contest. And people are going to go and have 48 hours to just build the most awesome pirate ship they can. And then we're going to go around and we're going to judge them and award prizes to the winners. We're going to have dungeon challenges where we create a specific dungeon underground for you to fight your way through and deal with all the monsters that Minecraft has to offer. And at the end, a chest with awesome prizes, both for in-game and out-of-game. Generally, we're trying to provide a space for trading, socializing, visiting other people's settlements, setting up trade routes. I love building like high-speed railways between different people's bases so that I can trade them diamonds for the excessive amounts of coal that they've got stocked away. That's the kind of stuff we want to have going, and we want to be creating this sense of community within the Minecraft server. But additionally, for you as clubs, we have this potential to do even more special things. we can start doing some things based around more group dynamics as opposed to individual. If we have whole groups of people working together, then we can start doing some larger, bigger things. Like, what club is going to make their own continent, or the massive underwater Atlantis base made by Pierce Anime Club or something. Those are things that I would love to do, but it's going to mean you have to get invested in it before we can start kind of making some of these plans. So if you're interested in Minecraft, if you like playing it, or if you've just never tried it before and you're interested in checking it out, we hope to see you inside the Minecraft server real soon. And to wrap up the first episode of our Clubs 201 podcast, I want to talk about some tips on how to hold an effective virtual meeting. As many of you will be trying to do this for the very first time, there are some things you've got to watch out for. The first of which is that Zoom, Skype, any other video conferencing meeting is already going to offer some unique challenges that you wouldn't be facing if you were in a physical space. Not all of your club members are going to have a webcam or a high-quality microphone. Some of them may be dealing with lower bandwidth internet and not be able to connect as regularly. There are going to be lags and delays, and sometimes people are going to be muted when they didn't mean to be muted. As the club leader, you're going to want to be very aware during the meeting of who might be having trouble being heard. There are going to be people whose microphones are quieter while other people's are louder, and so it's harder for them to be heard over other people. And you're going to want to just pay attention, see who's been trying to speak, and make sure you make time for that person to be able to say something if they've been struggling to do so. And lastly, I want to encourage you to set up some kind of consistent schedule. Just like when you were on campus and people knew to meet every Tuesday from 4 to 6 in Miller Hall 131, you want to set up some kind of schedule that people can come to expect. They can build it into their routine around their classes, and they can get excited about coming together again with their club. Not to mention, if you're trying to attract new people, especially in this particular climate, it's excellent to have a consistent schedule so you can just post on the Facebook page, hey, follow this link to our Zoom meeting every Tuesday at this time, and then people know when to meet with you and that your club is still active and running every week or every other week or once a month, whatever works for you. Hopefully these resources and tips are going to provide you a little bit of a jump start in terms of getting your club running again. We're going to be producing these podcasts on a regular basis and providing you with more tips and tricks and different resources that we've found to try and help your club be the best it can be. I'm Walter Lutsch. Thank you for listening.
And I'm William Wasson. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next episode.